scholarships.
I feel like when I go out and I help other young people, it's like me helping my brothers through living their legacy and continuing their legacy. I preach to a lot of young people.
Drives and
family, what is going on? We are now on episode 21, and this is probably the biggest episode to date. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for the continuous support. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. If you have not checked out that last video that I did with my boy Ryan, make sure you go check that out. It was a great interview, dropped a lot of good gems in there, just a cool dude overall. But today we have a very special guest, and only one of her kind for sure, Miss Aliyah Stewart, also known as HopeASW on Instagram or the ASW Foundation. How are you today? Great to have you here.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. You know, just been busy for sure. You know, a lot of interviews and different things going on. First, I gotta ask you, I ask all my guests this, how have you been dealing with COVID, and has it affected you at all?
I've been dealing with COVID pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was really needed for me just to have a time to sit back and pay attention, focus, see what needed to change, see what needed to happen. It has put a little delay on some of my plans, but as long as they're delayed and not denied, that's all that matters. So I feel like they're going to come back 10 times better than what it was.
Yeah, everybody pretty much been saying the same thing. Everybody that I've had on the show said that it helped more than it hurt, you know, like delaying, like you said, delaying is okay as long as it's not stopping. Just resetting, you know, learning different things. It's pretty much been the same for me. As far as having guests on the show, it hasn't really affected that.
Right.
But as far as work situations, it has. So that's good that you're still moving forward, you know, not letting it stop you and everything. So we're just going to start. For those who don't know, what is the ASW Foundation exactly?
So the ASW Foundation is a nonprofit organization. I started my freshman year of high school at 14 in honor of my two brothers that were killed. So what we do is community transformation. We started with giving away scholarships to students graduating from Maryville. Then we moved into a lot of community activities such as giveaways, community empowerment events for young people. So that's the ASW Foundation. We're opening a youth center on the east side of Gary. So.
Damn. So I know I've been seeing I saw a couple of days ago on Instagram you were talking about $5 Friday. Well, what is that exactly?
So $5 Friday is a way for us to raise funds for renovations for the buildings. So we recently had a big donation from CJ So Cool, which was $7,000, along with a lot of our other sponsors and donors and everything like that. So $5 Friday is for everyone to really be a part of. A lot of people share it. They donate $5, and all of it comes together for the center.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. You said something about a youth center on the east side of Gary. So how did that come about?
So in 2018, you want the long story short?
It don't matter. How you want to tell it.
So 2018, I graduated high school in November of 2017. And when I got out of high school, so many people, because of everything that I had been doing in the community, was like, oh, you're going to go to college? I'm like, yeah, I guess I have no choice. So I ended up graduating 7 months ahead of my class. So I took a college course in January 2018 when I was still supposed to be in high school. So I still had the mindset of I got out of high school early and graduated early because I was tired of school, right? So did the school thing, hated it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. My teacher that I had, my professor, Ms. Grayson, she actually knew me outside of college. Like, she knew me from doing activist work. And she just was honest, like, Aliyah, this not for you. Like, you come here, you do ASW work, the entire class. And it's like, yeah, you're right. And so I had to have a plan, basically. In my plan, I opened up a nutrition store. So I invested in Herbalife Nutrition. I opened up a store. That was the first store I ever had. It was a storefront. I was 17. I was super young. And that was the gift that my parents gave to me for graduating high school. That was my gift. I wanted to have a business. And so I had the nutrition store. My first 2 months going good. Everything perfect. out of nowhere, like it got cold outside, and you know people don't want to really be healthy when it's cold outside.
Yeah, for sure.
So everything decreased. It just went down from there. I got super sad, super upset. Like it just wasn't working out for me. The nutrition, I hadn't really been working on the ASW Foundation or anything like that. So fast forward February 2019, I have a very big spiritual connection, like with God. Like I love him, you know. So I just was talking to God, and I was like, I got nominated for Young Entrepreneur of the Year, and I said, if I win this for the ASW Foundation, I'm closing my store, because I felt like that was a sign.
Yeah.
So I ended up winning $15,000 in cash and prizes. So I won, and so that next week I had everything out of my store. And that's when I started focusing on the ASW Foundation, and I always wanted to work with youth, like always, because I'm young and I feel like I could just relay my message and help other young people. So I don't know, I was laying down literally one day and just doing my normal spiritual, talking to God, mapping out plans for my life, and the plan for the youth center just dropped into me. And so that April, that's when it started taking off. April 2019, everybody just was pulling like, oh my God, this young girl wants to open up a center. And from there, I just been trusting God and going all the way.
That's what's up for sure. It's crazy to hear that, because I know the last, the dude I talked to that was an author, I asked him, was this like something you always knew you wanted to do, or was it something that just popped in? So his was a little different, but it's definitely cool to hear that you was just laying down and it just boom, like it just happened. The store you had, was it like a physical store in like Maryville and Gary? Oh.
It was on 61st and Harrison, and it's like a facility building, like with a lot of different other businesses, but I had the storefront in the back with the own door and everything like that. So it was called Next Level Living Nutrition, because I felt like I wanted to go to the next level of living. So I try to manifest everything that I have, like all the businesses, the names just have to manifest into something positive.
Now that's what's up. I'm glad you mentioned the whole college thing, because a lot of, especially the youth and parents, always say you have to go to college, you gotta go to college, or you won't be successful. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely good to hear from someone young. You know, definitely go to college. I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm saying it's not for everybody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's definitely cool. So just the entire thing that you do, I know ASW was inspired by your brothers passing away, but even when you were younger, was this like something you always wanted to do? Like, I always wanted to help the youth, or is it?
No. When I was younger, I did ballet. I was athletic, so I did I just always had character, and I was always dramatic. So I wanted to be in like acting and ballet and stuff like that. So I always wanted to be famous, but I never knew it would be like
for a different reason.
Philanthropy and influential speaking and things like that. I thought it would be for like acting and stuff like that. So when I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. Like acting, dancing. I felt like ballet was just gonna take me everywhere. So that's what I had in mind to do.
That's cool. I always like to hear what people wanted to do first. What they do now. I mean, you always got a plan, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely good that you found it. Just jumping back into the youth center real fast, what is going to be in it exactly?
So we'll have a lot of different classroom settings. We'll have music, performing arts, really social development, teaching young people how to develop in communities and societies that are not like theirs. So teaching that skill, building resumes, building skills, tasks, helping young people see something bigger than Gary. So a lot of young people in the city of Gary, they have potential, they have purpose, they just don't have someone to pull it out of them. So we want the center to be somewhere where college readiness, but guidance, really just teaching guidance and things like that, getting them ready for the world outside of Gary, Indiana, teaching them that it is a world outside of Gary, Indiana, different field trips and things like that will be going on. And then we'll have a music center for young people that suffer with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. We'll have something there for them to be able to express themselves, get through going through that phase and things like that.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up for real. I never knew like what You did, exactly. I know even when I said on Creative Friday, and usually I research like everybody that I put on there, but it was just so much I didn't even know what to say really. So that's definitely cool because I didn't know what exactly was going to be in the youth center or what it was going to be about. Switching gears a little bit, I know it's a crazy time in the world right now, starting with the whole George Floyd situation and the police brutality and everything. It kind of goes hand in hand with what you're doing right now. So just your personal opinion, like what do you think about this whole situation and what do you think should be the next step? Because there has to be something after this.
I personally feel like with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, everything that's happening right now, we're at really a cry out for help. And I think that for the African American community, it's not racism for us. It's really like placism. Like we have to get in place. We have to get in a position to be able to stand up and get in these offices to make a change. And then we have some African Americans that get in position and don't do anything. But I feel like for us, we're at war with ourselves. You know, so first we have to cease the war with ourselves and come together. I feel like black on black crime happens every day. And I think that Caucasian man killing an African American man, the way that they did George Floyd is not acceptable. We can't accept it, but we also can't accept when we're shooting up blocks and 4-year-old kids are outside. We have to have the same argument. So I feel like in order for other races and cultures to respect us, we have to respect ourselves. And we don't value the life that we have. We don't value the melanin, the potential, everything that is in us. We don't value it at this point. So I think that it's kind of hard to tell another race, hey, value me. I mean this, but I'm okay with letting my cousin Ray Ray kill, so-and-so and keeping the code and not saying anything about it.
Yeah, and that's definitely a interesting take. And I'm glad you broke it down like that because you do have those people, rather it's our race or other race, saying, well, black on black crime happens every day. And then, you have the other crowd like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with it, which it doesn't. But broken down like that, it does, because that's where the root of the problem starts.
Right.
It's almost like, if you don't respect yourself, why would I respect you? You know what I'm saying? So definitely an interesting take. And that's a different one that I've heard. A lot of people said that, I don't know, like different things. But that's definitely
a lot
the
of
first
people
time.
wouldn't agree with when I would say it first, like, it's not racism. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that. But I feel like you don't be yourself if you're not one of a kind with your way of thinking. I don't accept a Caucasian man killing an African American man for no reason, letting him sit there for 8 minutes and say, I can't breathe, And then I don't agree with a 4-year-old being in the house and minding their business, watching Toy Story, and a stray bullet comes to their house, but no one wants to talk about that. They just want to say, free my cousin, or you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you've been on both sides of the fence and when you've experienced both sides, you understand, you know what I'm saying? I know how it is for a mother to bury their child both ways. So it's like, for me, I see the bigger picture. My mother had to bury both of her children, not because a Caucasian man killed them, because the African American person killed them. So I think that that's the issue.
Yeah,
we have to understand the issue within ourselves and within our community and our culture before we can go out and understand or make somebody else understand.
Yeah, it starts with ourselves, and that's a tough battle to fight.
Right.
It really is, but it all starts with knowing that first. Like, it starts with us. Nothing's going to get changed until we change it. So enough with the negativity, but I had to ask that.
No, that's not negative. That's a true question. That's a true question that a lot of people, I commend you for even asking that, because it's so touchy, especially in today's time where a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They just want to sugarcoat it, and they want to run over it and instantly just make it seem like it's somebody else's fault. It is somebody else's fault for the things that we went through, but you can't let what you went through define who you are now. We can't let what our ancestors went through define who we are right now to this day. So we have to stand up and take a bigger aspect and a bigger picture of the situation and do something with it. It's bigger than the problem. It's the principle of the problem.
100% agree with that. I agree with that 100%. So moving on, like throughout your career, when I was doing my research, I saw that you spoke at a bunch of different places. Just curious, what was your favorite place that you have spoken?
My favorite place? Wow, I've never been asked this. my favorite. I don't know. 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 I don't
It was a lot, I know.
My favorite place. What if I have two?
That's
okay,
cool.
Sandy Hook. So I got asked to come speak. This is just God. So in 2015, Dr. McGee with the Pop Foundation would be a great person for you to interview too. He had me become the president of SAVE, which is Students Against Violence Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a big program or whatever, and they partner with Sandy Hook. Once Sandy Hook happened, they partnered with Sandy Hook, and they would send out emails if you were on the email log, or, you know, hey, we got this going on and everything like that. So they sent the email out about a summit that they were having, and I emailed them back my bio. Don't know why, but I was like, yeah, they send me emails. This must be a personal person. Let me send them an email. Sent them an email. They're like, yo, I know this is this weekend, but you think that you can? I'm like, yes. So I went to, I believe, North Carolina or South Carolina and spoke at the Sandy Hook Summit. And it was amazing. So many different cultures and races. And they loved my story. I gave away I Am Them shirts to almost everyone there. And it was amazing. Like, the vibe, the people, like, they looking at me like, oh my God, this is such a young girl. And I had an I Am Them shirt that had like a worldwide picture on it with I Am Them inside of it. And it was so amazing just to have so many different people there, so many different stories, sharing the same pain that I share, but in a different way, mass school shootings and things like that. That was my first one. My second one was Good Morning America. That was my second one.
Yeah.
Because it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was super, 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 super amazing. The energy, the vibe, the people, their willingness to help, the crowd. Like, people don't know, like, but before I got on there, it was like a lot going on. So it was like, I was getting tugged so many different ways, but that was a dope one. Anyone really with a lot of kids is my favorite. So when I was doing the small one, going to different schools like Bowman, McCullough, Lighthouse, Steel City, I love, those are really like my die-hard ones because the young people keep me going. They ask like out-of-the-box questions. Like questions like you like, that has nothing to do with anything that I'm talking about. But just young people, like anytime I have to speak and I know it's like young people there, I know I'm gonna have one kid in there that's either gonna be difficult, but they try to be difficult, the class clown. Like, I love the class clown, so yeah.
Interesting. I'm glad you said Good Morning America because that was literally my next question. It was not just in particular Good Morning America because you have been on different things, but just how was it being on those type of shows? It's just so different from this, you know what I'm saying? So just how was it as far as, you know, energy wise, and were you nervous, you know, things like that?
I was nervous, but I always have it in my mind that if I could talk to God, I can talk to anybody. So it was really dope and really fun to be able to go there and talk to everyone there and see the people, and I had no idea that Vance was going to donate. So it was super fun. Like, I had my family there. I had 3 of my best friends, my cousin, which happens to be my manager, my mom. So it was like I had everyone there that I really needed, and it was an amazing experience. Like, it was dope.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, only a handful of people can say that.
Yeah, it was super dope. Super eye-opening. It opened up doors to a lot of other speaking engagements. That whole 2 weeks afterwards, I was like from state to state. I got asked, so that was New York, and then like someone called me as soon as I got back. I was in the airport on my way home, and they called me like, yo, can you come to Texas? We got a Stop the Violence event. So I went and spoke for a congresswoman in Texas that Wednesday, and then I believe, that maybe they've been that Monday, and that Wednesday I was in DC at the Christian Broadcasting Network because they were super excited about it. They were like, we've never had like a young person get on national TV and be like, first giving honor to God before we even start. And I'm like, so that opened up doors to a lot of different things, and my hometown was like super amped. Like when I got back home, I felt like the GOAT. Because everybody was like, like, bro, like, you on Good Morning America? I'm like,
For real.
yeah, I'm surprised myself. Like,
Yeah.
definitely.
Nah, that's anybody. Not everybody gets to Good Morning America or, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. So when you do, you definitely ought to go for sure. So, what's next from here? Like, where do you see the youth center going and any other projects you want to accomplish? Like, what's next?
Personally, I feel like no plan I have for my life, which I've learned, is better than the plan that God has. So just really focusing and taking heed to his plan and his purpose that he has is very important for me. I feel like something big, super big, God is really moving heavily in my life, and everything that I'm manifesting and praying for and trusting his word is really happening. So I see the youth center being something bigger than me. It's bigger than me anyway, because it's God's plan, but I see it expanding to something. I want to build it in different states. So I want to go to Flint, I want to go to Detroit, I want to go to Iowa, different places where there's a need for young people to have something to do that's positive, a crisis intervention, stopping the plague of gun violence. It's an epidemic that we're living in, that we're fighting. We have a pandemic, and then we have the epidemic that's happening. So I get super excited because like just thinking about where it's about to go.
Yeah.
I see it being something that I'm not even gonna be able to say like I did it.
Yeah, definitely. So it's bigger than just you. The biggest thing I'm taking from this entire interview is always put God first, man, for real. Put your trust in that. Put your trust in yourself, and you'll be cool. So we're like wrapping this up. Where can we donate? And the I Am Them shirt, where can we purchase those, and just anything we could do to help this?
So you can donate at iamthem.org, IAMTHEM.org. You can visit our Instagram, which is Hope_ASW, and click the link in our bio. Or you can visit our Facebook. We have 2 pages. One page is HopeASW, and that's our public figure page. And then the HopeASW is my personal page. And you can visit either of those and you can donate. All donations are tax deductible. To purchase an I Am Them shirt, you can visit iamthem.org again, and you can go under I Am Them merchandise. I turn around for shirts. Any merchandise is 5 to 7 days. Sometimes you might get it in 2 days. It just depends. But all donations, like I said, are tax deductible, accepted. No matter if it's $1, $2, we appreciate it, especially with the pledge of getting this youth center to open. So, yeah.
Definitely. So for my audio listeners, y'all might have to run that back, but for my video, it will be in there. The links will be all in the description. I will donate myself.
Thank you.
So probably 3 or more vids or whatever, you'll see me with the shirt on, definitely for a good cause. So I'm all for that all the time. So I just want to thank you for coming through again. Like, I really appreciate it a lot. You guys show some love. And
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. We ain't gonna rush.
I have a question.
Okay,
my question is, what does FreshSqueezed mean, and what made you pick that name?
Oh, man. It does not mean anything, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to make up a story of a deep meaning. Like, literally, me and Xavier, we created the show, and we were sitting down at Dunkin' Donuts and was like, what should we call it? And at first we said The Juice, I think, or something like that, and it was already taken. So he just looked at me, he was like, FreshSqueezed. And yeah, we just roll with it. I don't know, nobody else has that name. I've been trying to think and prepare for this question. Nobody has asked me yet, but
I asked.
Yeah.
Where do you see FreshSqueezed going in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I don't want to be your typical podcast, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like you, like I have so many ideas and so many things that I want it to be. I just need to be put in those situations and talk to those people. I really look up to Kevin Hart and how he built Heartbeat Productions. Like, that was a big thing for me. So in the next 5 years, that's tough, 5 years. I don't know, man. In a perfect world, I would be obviously, getting paid to do this and interviewing all types of people all over the world and doing different things of that nature. So I'm gonna try to speak that into existence.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm big on putting the area on the map too. Even if I don't get support, I'm big on showing the world people like yourself or people like Taji who I've interviewed in the past, and if one of us make it, that's gonna open the door for all of us. Yeah, I'm really big on that. So honestly, if someone seen this, didn't like the show at all, but they like, you know what, Aliyah has a huge future, let me reach out to her, like that would make me happy. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I just want to say, I pray that God continues to bless your business. For every business, it's always obstacles, and for every story in your life, it's always a test. But God will forever give you a testimony to go with it. And at times, it's like your business, it can become hard. Things don't happen fast, but you got to trust in the word and stand on his word. In Jeremiah 29:11, he talks about having a plan and a purpose for your life. So no matter what things might look like or things may seem, you have to look at things with your spiritual eye and know that it's something beautiful at the end of it. This journey is not easy. It's not easy at all. It's not for the weak. You know, it's made for the strong. And even when you're weak, God can make you strong. You don't know your strength until things are being pulled out of you. So I pray that God just continues to lead you and guide you with your business, and trust that doors are going to open and things will happen. You just got to stay on the right path and keep trusting him. And I think that that's the beauty of my story, because so many people look at all the glory and everything positive that happens, and everyone feels like I don't fail. But even when you fail, you don't, because God still has a perfect message and a perfect plan for you. So as long as you keep that positivity flowing within you and you keep it, this has been a rocky. I have days where it's booming, I have days where it's not. But even the days that it's not, I know that it's something positive that's about to happen. That means God did extra work that day to make sure that the next blessing that came was something unexpected. And he's a God that can do unthinkable things, unimaginable things. So you keep going. I see your business expanding to something super big, super amazing. Just keep that heart and remain humble. Like,
for sure.
I appreciate you for reaching out. Like, you know, so many people don't reach out. We don't want to build each other up. So that's super important.
Man, this was big. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I was thirsty for this interview. I ain't gonna lie. Not just because of, you know what I'm saying, the name behind you, but I just like talking to people who are just on a different level of thinking, you know what I'm saying? Not just, I want the cars, I want the clothes, I want this, I want that, but like genuinely trying to help people. And I really respect and appreciate that, because I was raised on that myself. So
it's important. It's important to have that mindset. And self-preservation is important. You know, it's good to have the material things, but I think that I had to grow up early. So we can't fault people for that. Like, I had to grow up very early. You know, my first brother was killed when I was 7. My second brother was killed when I was 13. I'm the only child. I had a mother that was grieving, that really couldn't be. I had everything a kid could want material-wise, but love just wasn't there. And I think that it smoothed me. My mother raised me on self-preservation. You have to learn that was the law of the land. Because if she felt like at 11, if she was to die, I needed to know how to survive in this world without her. My father passed away, you know, so I needed to know certain things. So when you look at things like this, and when you see everything I'm doing, that's why I say it's bigger than me, because I'm not supposed to be, you know, I'm not supposed to have this mental sanity, you know, mental clarity, have this all together, but God always has something positive right at the end. It's just like, you got to keep on pushing.
Got to.
It's right there.
Facts. So, biggest things, if you don't take anything from this interview at all: 1, put God first all the time. Have your faith in him. 2, never quit. I always say all the time, if you have a bad day or if you take a L, quote unquote, make it a lesson, not a loss. 100%. Man, could have easily went the other way. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's crazy. I'm kind of speechless right now. This was definitely
I'm kind of speechless right now.
my deepest interview for sure. My last one was good with Ryan. Like, he had a lot of good gems as well. But just hearing your story and how difficult it was to where you are now is it's unbelievable. It really is. So definitely continue to do your thing. And us at FreshSqueezed gonna keep tabs on you. I'm gonna have the I Am Them shirt. Make sure y'all go get one. And episode 21 in the book.
A nigga like me, I get in that gym, I get up so smooth. A nigga like you get in that gym, don't know what to do. Don't know what to do, don't know what to do, don't know what to do. Don't know what to do, don't know what to do, don't know what to do.